Hi there, my name is Gail Porter and welcome to Careers TV, your insight into Britain's multi-layered job market. Today, esteemed viewers, we'll be offering for your delectation the third instalment in our series on careers within the all-encompassing financial sector. Now, the English word finance originates directly from the medieval French finance, meaning ending or the settlement of a debt. The first written instance of finance, meaning the management of money, dates back to 1770, the same year that Captain Cook was the first European to make contact with the eastern coastline of Australia. The first usage of finance as a pecuniary resource was recorded in 1781. Coincidentally, the same year the Bank of England renewed its charter for the monopoly on currency issuance. Nowadays, we've come to define finance as the management of money and other assets, and the commercial activity of providing funds and capital. So essentially, in the words of that famous ditty, it's the thing that makes the world go around. The UK is the historical centre of world banking, and along with New York and Tokyo, London makes up the triumvirate of world financial command centres. The UK is also home to the world's largest foreign exchange market, insurance market, international bonds market, and has the offices, branches or headquarters of almost every major international bank and financial institution in the world. So it's not surprising then that the financial and related professional services industries directly employ 1.3 million people across Britain in a variety of roles, from clerks to corporate tax, accountants to actuaries.
The financial sector is definitely one of the most demanding sectors and the one that is the most competitive. I think that generally speaking, people want to get into the financial sector because of obviously the financial incentives, obviously, and that is a very, very big pull for that sector. It is very competitive. I think that employers potentially look not just at what the skills that people have, but also the level of confidence and how they can portray themselves to those potential employers. Confidence is extremely important when moving into that particular sector.
Well, financial services for me, I think, it provides you with a great opportunity to make a difference to people. I think there's a perception amongst people that financial services can be a bit boring, a bit staid as an employer, and actually the opposite is true. I've spent time in financial services, but also I left and went to work in utilities for 7-8 years and came back to financial services, and I think it provides great opportunities for people in a good working environment.
There's lots of benefits of working in financial services. Employees tell us, who we speak to, that they like the challenge of working in financial services. It's a fast-paced environment. There's always something new to learn. There's always new ways of doing your job and the activities related to your job. And if you're innovative, if you have enterprising skills, then there's lots of enjoyment that can be gained from that.
Now, before we start on our trip through the financial sector, it would be remiss of us as a responsible careers guidance programme not to give some airtime to the Financial Services Skills Council, or FSSC. Licensed by government, the FSSC's job is to maintain the UK's status as the world's leading international financial services centre and setting the standards for financial qualifications. So what better people to ask about the opportunities available in the financial sector?
Financial services is a large industry, and people who work in financial services can work in lots of different sectors, and each has a different role to play. We like to split financial services in different subsectors. So we have banking, and within banking we have wholesale banking, we have corporate banking, and we have retail banking. And the difference in those are very much who the customer is and also how much money is being dealt with. We have insurance, so insurance is wholesale insurance, and by that we mean insurance for unusual and high value risks. So it might be anything from insuring a footballer's legs to insuring a fleet of ships, for example. You also have retail insurance, and retail insurance are the insurance that affect everybody day to day: house insurance, car insurance, travel insurance. We have investments, and investments are those that deal with our pensions, our cash ISAs, for example, too. And within investments, you have roles that are client facing, such as fund manager or portfolio manager, client relationship manager, but then you also have those roles that are really important to have the rest of those working properly, all of your operations and services roles, and there's a huge amount of opportunities there. We also have credit leasing and financing, and that sector goes right across the UK too. Everything from car loan companies to those companies who provide loans and finance who are not banks. We have accountancy, which in itself is a very big sector, and that can be broken down further still too. And we then also have financial advice. So financial advice is what we know and what perhaps some people do take out on an individual basis to get advice as to how to best invest what money they do have, how to grow their wealth, and then also how to look at what options are available to them for loans and finance.
It goes without saying that the skills you need to succeed in one job arena may differ greatly from one industry to the next. If you're going to be a success in the business world, what do the people inside the industry think you need to be fit for purpose?
I think the key qualities that you need to have for working in financial services are things like, a strong customer service ethos, not only internal customers but external customers. Because they're so dynamic, you have to be good at thinking outside the box, not just taking the obvious route, but what other options are available, what else can we do? It's a strong team playing, it's a strong team environment as well, so I think you have to be a strong team player, you have to be happy to do what you can to help your colleagues and things like that. Communication skills are going to be key in financial services as well, in terms of there's so many different areas, so many different departments that you have to be able to not only communicate with the people that you're working alongside as well, but make sure you can speak the language to people within finance, to people, to marketeers, to HR people. So I think there's a few really important skills that you need to have.
An ideal candidate for financial services is somebody who's got very good people skills and understands how people work, has good numeracy skills, and can understand figures on a day-to-day basis, how we all understand it in our own, managing our own bank accounts, for example. Somebody who can work with other people and have professional good relationships with other people is important too. Those who have got good IT skills and using IT on a day-to-day basis, but also confidence in using different programs and packages relevant to financial services for some of those roles. Employers want people who are diligent, who are loyal and who are committed to their role, and those who have an understanding about how to present themselves, as it is a people business too.
The personal qualities that I think are required for the financial sector is a combination of academic qualifications, work experience in a relevant sector, but very importantly, confidence. The financial sector, they demand people that have a level of confidence and a high level of articulacy and be able to communicate exactly what they're looking to do with their careers. Because importantly, quite often in the financial sector, everybody that's employed is a representation of the company itself, and therefore it's important that they portray themselves with a certain image that the company will deem as being positive towards them.
With graduates, assuming that they have a top degree and you'd normally set your criteria to ensure that that happened, a lot of graduate assessment is focused on what you would say are more the interpersonal skills, people's attitude, relationship skills, communication, what else they've done while they were at university or at school by way of leadership type roles. These are the type of aspects that quite often make the difference when you've got two graduates with exactly the same qualification.
Your application is the only ammunition you've got against the other people after your dream job. So if you don't take care with it, it's going to get you shot down faster than a bandit at high noon. So what puts the best applications ahead of the pack and allows you to outshine the competition?
I think very importantly, when a candidate is putting themselves forward in terms of a piece of paper, i.e. that first bit of paper which is the CV, it's very important that it is to the point. 2 to 3 pages is probably more than enough for us to fill out with the content that a potential employer would be looking for. Presentation, the way a CV is presented, is important. There isn't no particular format in which I think every CV has got to have a certain level of individuality about it, but ultimately it's about getting the points across that what the person's skills that they have and to make it very concise and very clear about what their ultimate aspirations are and the type of goals that they're looking to achieve within their careers.